Hey there everyone, FPS Chasley here. Welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Yes, Kerbal Space Program. The big boys sandbox game. I used to play a lot of Gary's mod back in the day, and they had stuff called like Space Mod and that kind of crap. But this is the real deal. This is like the closest you can get to true spaceflight simulation out there. Alright, so this is our spaceport. We got a runway here. You can build like space planes. I've never done that. I might do that. Not now, maybe eventually. This is the tracking center. We can track our flights in progress. This is where we build our rockets, and this is a launching pad. I don't know if my mouse pointer is showing up, but the things highlight when I go over them. So the satellite dish here is the tracking center. This big building in the middle is where you build your rockets, and then that structure at the top right is the launch pad. So let's go to the tracking center. We have one flight in progress currently. If you see all this other crap, this is debris. This is from before I started recording. I was trying to rendezvous one of my fuel resuppliers with my space station, and I managed to hit the space station at over 80 miles an hour, and this is the aftermath. I absolutely blew it to bits. I don't know if I'll actually... In the previous versions, you used to be able to like highlight space junk and like go to them, but I don't think you can anymore. But here's my space station, so I'm gonna show you what I've got in orbit already. I didn't show launching this. I guess I could if you wanted to see such a thing. But yes, it's nighttime right now. Can't really see it. All right, I'm just gonna warp ahead so we can get into sunlight so you can see this thing. But yeah, this is a very cool game. This is fun to play. It can get addictive. Alright, here we are. We're in sunlight. That's sunrise in space. It's a beautiful thing to see. So here's our space station. It consists of one little pod thing here, some solar panels, and some batteries. Got some batteries right here. And then this is our docking hub. We can technically... As you can see, there's 4 sides and one on top, so we could technically attach 4 things to this, but I'm never going to try and approach these 2 sides because I'm going to hit these solar arrays. It's just, I don't want to risk it, so I'm only going to approach from this side, and the top. So those are the only ways I'll be able to, that's the only ways I'm going to approach this thing, so I can put fuel things on these 2, and then I can bring my ships up here and refuel them for my intergalactic journeys. Yeah, out there, that's some debris. Where is it? Is that from this thing? Yeah. It's some rocket I had that you're supposed to design it better, so like your rockets that you use to get into orbit, you can control them and actually like deorbit them so they fall back into the atmosphere, because you don't, I mean, look at all this crap I got floating around out here. Like, that's what I used to have my space station at around 119,000 meters. I don't know if you can see that altitude. But now I just put it down to like 80,000 meters because I just wanted to make sure that nothing else is in the orbit. Because it can get annoying when you're trying to target for like docking and stuff. Alright, I'm saying so much stuff. You have no idea what's going on. Alright, to the right here we got MechJeb. I spent the majority of this game learning it, doing everything by hand and doing everything manually. I think that's the best way to start this game, so you can get a feel for how things work, and then you can move to MechJeb, which is like an autopilot type thing. I wouldn't do it at first just because it's like when you learn to use a calculator. It's like you learn to do things by hand first, so you understand the mechanics of what you're doing, and then you can use the calculator to do the simple work for you. So, and MechJeb isn't really even that good for you can use it to ascend into orbit. I only use MechJeb to ascend into orbit if I'm trying to dock, because it can, once you launch your ship with MechJeb, it like develops a profile for how to launch, so you can just like go straight up and like dock with the space station right away. So that's the only reason I really use MechJeb. Otherwise, I can do my own launch that is much more fuel efficient than MechJeb launch. But let's get to it. I'm going to load up my space station fuel ship. I'm going to see if I need to make any changes to it. But yes, this is my ship. I'll do a whole other series on how to build your own ship and everything. But right now, it's kind of just like an intro video. I just want to show you guys what this game is about. It's like it's like the first day of a lecture. Like the professor just shows you what you're going to learn in class. You don't really dive into any material yet. So this is my fuel launcher ship. As you can see here, we have six tanks on the outside, and the way this works is all 6 tanks out here will all thrust at the same time, but they will also pump fuel towards the main center of the ship. So this rocket will be the first to fall off, and it's also pumping fuel here. So then when this falls off, this thing will still be full, and then this will be pumping fuel to here, so this will still be full too. And then by the time we get into orbit, the main fuel tank will use this engine, and this tank will be full. So that way we can maximize the amount of fuel we get into orbit. This is called... Oh, there's a special name for this formation. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, up left here at the MechJeb, we have MechJeb's analysis of our ship. It has the stages in their delta V. Delta V is how much you can increase your velocity with a given engine and fuel combination. So obviously these are idealized numbers because when we're launching off, we have losses due to gravity and we have losses due to drag. So that will be fuel that's just wasted that we can't do anything about. But once you're in orbit, all your fuel expended goes purely to delta V. All right, so let's get to it. Let's try and get them into orbit and dock with this space station. All right, so I'm gonna try to do this manually at first. I don't know if it's gonna work. I tried to use MechJeb with this ship, but it gets all freaky and everything, so I'm gonna use MechJeb to figure out when I should launch to try and line up with the space station. But other than that, I'm not gonna use MechJeb for the launch. Alright, so ascent autopilot. Okay, so down here at the bottom we have time launch to rendezvous. This is where we want to rendezvous with our space station. We want SS01 ship. Where is it? Here we go. Yes, is that what we want? Yes, SS01 ship. Alright, so, and then we hit engage and it'll automatically warp us to the launch time. It does it very quickly. It'll stop us with like 12 seconds to go. And then I will be launching this son of a bitch. Alright. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. So there you go, that's the launch. I disabled MechJeb because it's gonna try and like steer my thing for me otherwise, and I don't want that. I hope I can hear you. I hope you can hear me this part. I'm gonna try and speak up. Alright, so down here we got our fuel usage. These ones that are draining quickly are the first stage to go. Okay, I need to also like watch my altitude and my speed, because with terminal velocity there's a maximum speed you want to go to optimize your fuel use. Alright, so the first stage is done. It's off. Full power. Right now we're a little heavy for our engine load, and you have to watch out for the overheat too, because these engines overheat. The Rocco Maxes. Alright, what are we at? We're at 5,000. Okay, we're just about on speed. A little slow. It's not a problem. Alright, our next benchmark is 8,000 meters at 215 meters per second. Looks like we're going to hit that. Alright, we're still a little slow. That's fine. Up here in the top left, ascent stats, it would give you what your losses are, but it's not doing it automatically, so it can't really calculate. Alright, right now I'm beginning the gravity turn. This is what we have to do to get into orbit. Alright, so I'm thinking the same thing you are, but Charlie, can't we just get into orbit by going straight up? No. You can get to space by going straight up, but in orbit is falling at a velocity such that you will never fall back to Earth. That is what an orbit is. If you look at it, see right now we're not going fast enough. We will fall back to Earth or Kerbin. If we go fast enough, we will never hit the horizon. And that speed is around 2,200 meters per second. So as you can see, we got a ways to go. Alright, I'm going to continue the gravity turn. Trying to keep this straight. What's our altitude? 30,000. Alright, I'm going to move to finishing the gravity turn. Yes, my ship is spinning. I'm trying to fix that with the SAS, but it doesn't really look like it's working too well. We have tons of thruster fuel, so I don't have to worry about that too much. Alright. We have stopped spinning. I'm going to finish the gravity turn. We're now aiming straight for the horizon. This thing's still spinning. Alright. Oh, shit. I have not been paying attention. Alright, I gotta spin around. I'm used to these other orbits that we've been doing. Where the space station was higher up, but now we're only at 80,000, so I actually need to face retrograde and kill some of my speed off so we can hit this. We want to hit the peak. We want the peak of our journey, which is Apoapsis. We want that to be at the same altitude as the space station. So this little X I'm coming up to on my gimbal down here in the middle is called retrograde. This is the opposite way we are traveling. This is our retrograde vector. This is the exact opposite way we are actually going. Not the way we are facing, the way we are going. So I'm going to burn a little bit here. As you can see, Apoapsis is coming down. I'm going to try to drop that down to 78,000 meters. I'm trying to keep it on target and watch the Apoapsis at the same time. Alright, just put SAS on, you silly. Alright. Almost there. 80,000 meters. Yeah, we want 78,000. 79,000 meters. And kill it. Alright, that's good enough. You don't need to be terribly precise. As long as you're within half a kilometer of your object, you're fine. Oh, we're going to get there very quickly. Alright. We've definitely overshot this, as you can see. No, I don't want the debris as the target. I want the ship as the target. So yeah, that's our closest encounter. It has just happened. 70 kilometers. And then our next closest encounter is going to be a million miles away. It's going to be a million meters away. Alright, so that one was a little too early. And I already passed my Apoapsis, so we're going down. I could circularize the orbit for you. Alright, I'll do that. Alright, so as you can see, we're only going 1,100 meters per second. We need about another 1,000 meters of delta V to be going in an orbit. So I'm going to go here to orbital operations, and I'm going to circularize at our current altitude. So circularize basically means you're just like, we need another about 1,000 meters of delta V. Yeah, as you can see right here, we need 1,100 meters of delta V to circularize our orbit to be going fast enough so that we never hit Kerbin. So I'll let the computer do this automatically because circularizing manually can be a pain in the ass. Alright, those engines are done. So we just got the one bad boy left. Oh, if it looks like we're slowing down, that's because that's relative velocity to this. I'm going to unset that as a target. Unset target. Alright, so actually we have a lot more delta V than I thought. So we're going to need about 2,200 meters. Oh, what the fuck? I think my engine just overheated. Shit. Alright, you can't really... Okay, you can see me against the silhouette of the galaxy. Oh yeah, I need to fix this stage. I have this little, like, nose cone thing up here. But I need to launch that off, so my next stage is... You press spacebar to stage. There's a decoupler here. It will decouple, and then we got these little boosters here that'll send this nose cone flying. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Alright. Well, that was fail number 1. Alright. Crap. Alright, I'm going to get into another ship that I know works, so I can just show you how to dock with this. Or I can show you, like, getting into a docking position with the space station. So I'm going to end this flight, and I'll meet you guys on the launch pad. See you in a few seconds. Alright, this ship is aptly named SS Rendezvous for Space Station Rendezvous. And the last time I used this ship, these thrusters were not aligned with the center of gravity, so... What that means is that these thrusters are further away from the center of mass than these thrusters down here. So that means they exert a greater moment, which means they'll rotate the front of the craft faster than the bottom of the craft, which I don't want. That means it's very hard to dock. So what I'm going to do is detach this, and then I'm going to go down here to the bottom left and turn on the center of mass mode. And then we can see where our center of mass is for this ship, and we want to move these thrusters up here accordingly. So I think I'm going to want to move those. I'm going to actually move these bottom thrusters down a little bit. How's that look? It's hard to really get a... Alright, I still need to move these top ones down a little bit. Is that good? Alright. I move these down a little bit more. What do you think? Move these up a little bit? Yeah. Alright, well, you know what? I have a ruler in my drawer, so I'm going to get that. Gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Alright, yeah, you won't be able to see this, but I have a ruler in my hand. I'm trying to get this center of mass sphere as straight as I can. I'm just going to, like, lackadaisically measure this. Alright, so to the center of that thruster, the center of mass is about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. And then the ones up there are about 1.5 inches away. So I still need to move those. Need to move these bottom ones down a little bit. Move these top ones down a little bit. I think that's about as low as they're going to go. I'm going to move these RCS thruster tanks up higher. Alright, that looks pretty balanced to me. I'm going to move these battery tanks up a little higher. Alright, that looks pretty good. So let's attach this back to the bottom and then save this. And I will meet you guys on the pad. I don't know if I'm going to... am I going to show this whole flight, this whole ascendance? Alright, well first I need to do a test flight with MechJeb so I can get it all lined up. And then I'll show you the real flight. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I did my test flight. 2 of them actually, so MechJeb should know what's good in the hood with doing this launch on time, so let's hope it does. Alright, this will be your first MechJeb launch. It does go a little faster than the terminal velocities, so I've always wondered if I could adjust that because it does give you a good bit of drag loss that is otherwise avoidable. I'll have to look into that. But I mean, it is pretty cool, MechJeb, but with the bigger ships it does go a little... it can go a little crazy, I think. I don't know if that's the MechJeb fault or me making complicated ships, but this one's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And once again, we have fuel from these tanks feeding into this main tank, so it'll be fully juiced up by the time these 2 tanks let go. I'll have to look into the theory on that. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense to me, but I don't know well enough to really explain it. And the fuel for this works out pretty well. They jettison right before the gravity turns, so that's nice. Yeah, I mean, there can be a lot of, like, just, like, hearing and not much going on in this game, so I tend to listen to music. So right now I have, like, earbuds on underneath my headphones so I can listen to music and not get bored silly. I might end up editing out some of this stuff. But yeah, see that? Right before the gravity turn. I couldn't have planned that better myself. That's great. Alright. So here we are. We're going up. There's the space station. Our Popesys is climbing. On my first test launch, I made the gravity turn end at like 35,000 feet, and that is well within the atmosphere still. So, yeah, it didn't work. So I made my path end at like I made the gravity turn end at 65,000 meters. And that seems to work out pretty well. Yeah, let's hope this works pretty well. All right. I will get back to you when we have finished our burn and we're heading for a Popesys to circularize the orbit, so I'll see you guys then. Alright, ladies and gents, we have a pretty much perfect launch here. This is our first intersect that's 12 kilometers apart, whatever. Look at this second one. 0.8 kilometers, 800 meters apart. Oh, that couldn't have been better. That is pretty much textbook rendezvous launch. Alright, so I'm just going to keep recording at this point because it's speeding us up a little bit. At Popesys, it'll circularize the orbit, and then we'll be about 1 kilometer or so from the space station, and hopefully we can do our dock. Oh, this is great. This went better than I thought. I thought we'd be at least like 4 kilometers away. You can deal with that. It's not a problem. It just takes longer to get to the space station. But this is great. This is pretty much just exactly where you want to be. This is about as good as you can get it, I think, in this game. But let's look around here, outside view. Where's the space station? Should be behind us. There it is. You can see it. And here comes some of this space junk. It's about to fucking zoom by us. Yeah, there's that space junk. Alright, now we're circularizing our orbit. As you can see, this is our relative velocity to the space station. It is dropping dramatically. We might be able to finish this circular orbit. Yeah, we can finish orbit circularization on this fuel tank. And then look at this. I've used all this fuel and those sent up. Oh man, this is a great ship. This is designed perfectly. Alright, so this intersection is actually going to be up here. So this is good enough. This is close enough. Oh, but it's not sunlight. Okay, so I'll wait till we get into the sunlight, but I'm gonna jettison this this tank. I don't need this thing.